Lin Yi was driving and didn't know what Qin Tian sent to him. Although Qiuling Shuang had sensed what Qin Tian might do next, she didn't think too much at this time. Because in her mind, she and Lin Yi can absolutely trust each other. Qin Tian wants to use this method to provoke the contradiction between the two. How is it possible? So over time, Lin Yi's BMW stopped in the parking lot of a five-star hotel. Under the guidance of the doorman, Lin Yi brought Qiuling Shuang to the hotel and opened a room for Qiuling Shuang. You take a break first, we'll talk about the process of that night later. Well, okay, brother Yi. Qiuling Shuang nodded. Lin Yi always regarded her as her younger sister. So Lin Yi opened a room for Qiuling Shuang alone. She didn't say anything. The two went back to their respective rooms. After Lin Yi sat down by the bed, he subconsciously took out his mobile phone to check the time. But I saw two unread messages. Click to open and see there are two photos. After seeing these two photos, Lin Yi's heart was shaken. One of the two photos is of the two wearing hospital gowns. Qiuling Shuang's expression of welcome if you want to refuse. The other one is Qin Tian wearing casual clothes, Qiuling Shuang leaning on his shoulder. Of course, photos are not the most important thing. The important thing is looking at Qiuling Shuang's expression. She seems to be willing. How can it be? How could Ling Shuang voluntarily take this kind of photo with Qin Tian? As soon as he thought of what Qin Tian said before, Lin Yi seemed to think of something. But after a moment, impossible, absolutely impossible. Lin Yi quickly denied himself. Qiuling Shuang is a killer. He is a killer who would rather lose his life than be insulted by the enemy. How can you succumb to Qin Tian? Thinking of this, Lin Yi decisively returned a piece of news. Qin Tian, with two synthesized photos, do you want to instigate discord? This is too naive, right? After sending this message, Lin Yi took a deep breath, and his heart became a little nervous inexplicably. Feeling his own state, Lin Yi couldn't help but feel a little puzzled. What happened? He is obviously a killer who has no feelings. And just when Ling Shuang is his sister, why is he so nervous? Is it synthetic? Wouldn't it be good if you ask a professional to appraise it? Lin Yi's tension didn't last long, and Qin Tian's news came back. Lin Yi frowned when he saw this news, but he believed it for a while. Because Qin Tian will not be so stupid to use this low-level deception to deceive himself. So Lin Yi typed again. Why would Ling Shuang take this kind of photo with you? Bei Qin Tian asked back. What? Didn't she tell you? Tell me what? She was slept by me. Otherwise you think she came to kill me. Why can you keep it intact? Boom. Qin Tian's words were like a bolt from the blue sky, directly knocking Lin Yi out of focus and tender in the inside. Is it true? Read more at wuxiax.com. But how is it possible? How could Ling Shuang talk to Qin Tian? Seeing this news, Lin Yi's mind was already a little unstable, and he quickly called Qin Tian. This time, Qin Tian did not refuse. Just as soon as the call was connected, Lin Yi shouted, Impossible, Qin Tian. Don't you want to lie to me? Lie to you? Qin Tian, who sat on the Rolls Royce, said disdainfully. Then tell me, why should I let her go? Is it okay with her character? Lin Yi hesitated to speak, but stopped. Yes, Ling Shuang went to assassinate Qin Tian. After the assassination failed, why did Qin Tian spare Ling Shuang? In addition to fancy her looks and body, what other reason? Thinking of this, Lin Yi forcibly endured the anger in his heart and once again quibbled. Ling Shuang is a killer. It is impossible to succumb to you. But she just succumbed. Why? How do I know why? Ask her yourself. Speaking of this, Qin Tian paused. But to be honest, Lin Yi, your brat is really good. When she did it with me, she kept calling your name. Qin Tian, I want to kill you. Boom. Lin Yi couldn't listen anymore and hit the wall with a punch. After the fist met the wall, there was a muffled noise. Lin Yi didn't know why his anger was so great. But as long as he thinks of his junior sister being Qin Tian, he wants to tear Qin Tian to pieces. After hanging up the phone, Lin Yi's eyes were red, his fists kept smashing the wall, and he was gasping for breath. At this time, he was like an angry lion. Why? Why is this happening? Lin Yi kept roaring in his heart. Ling Shuang was actually given by Qin Tian. Lin Yi didn't dare to think anymore. Asshole, did I harm Ling Shuang? Boom, boom, boom. The knock on the door suddenly sounded. Lin Yi took a deep breath and calmed down. Get up and open the door. Qiuling Shuang stood at the door. Brother Yi, what's the matter with you? I just heard something from you. The hotel is very soundproof, but she is a master killer. He was able to hear Lin Yi's noise and the sound of smashing the wall. No, nothing. Seeing the hot-dressed junior girl in front of him again, Lin Yi couldn't tell what it was like. Come in first, I want to ask you something. Qiuling Shuang was puzzled, but still walked in. Lin Yi closed the door, and the two of them found a place and sat down at the same time. Brother Yi, Ling Shuang, tell me first, that night, how did you get caught by Qin Tian? After sitting down, Lin Yi asked with a serious expression. Brother Yi, I'm about to tell you about this, because Lin Yi is very important in her heart. So Qiuling Shuang hadn't noticed Lin Yi's abnormality. This time we really miscalculated. This Qin Tian has a very weird combat power. He is obviously just a rich man, but his strength and speed have surpassed you in his heyday. Why would he let you go? After listening to Qiuling Shuang's account, Lin Yi asked directly. Because although he cares about Qin Tian's combat effectiveness, he is obviously more concerned about this issue now. What? Qiuling Shuang was taken aback when he heard the words, and then curiously asked, Didn't it mean that you caught his son and replaced me? This is later, Lin Yi asked calmly. What I asked was when you just failed the assassination. According to the truth, you are a killer. If the assassination fails, it is impossible for him to let you go. This, Qiuling Shuang fell into a memory, and after a long time, she shook her head. don't know, originally I was pinched by his neck and I was dying. I didn't expect him to suddenly let me go. After giving me a medicine that suppresses true chi, it knocked me out. Stunned. Lin Yi's eyes were slightly cold. What did he do to you? What did you do? Nothing. Xiaoling Shuang said straightforwardly. Because of what she did, she would definitely feel it. No. Lin Yi took a deep breath. Ling Shuang, tell me honestly, did you fall asleep by him? No. How is it possible? Xiaoling Shuang came up with the crime, for fear of Lin Yi's misunderstanding. Brothery, did he say something to you? Don't listen to his nonsense. Qin Tian is very sinister, and he definitely wants to provoke the relationship between us. Then tell me, what is this? Lin Yi turned over the photo in the phone and handed it to Xiaoling Shuang. If you haven't been sleeping by him, why do you want to take such a photo with him? He forced me. Before Xiaoling Shuang finished speaking, she was stunned. Xiaoling Shuang was really dumbfounded. Because let's not say whether she likes Lin Yi can tell. Even if she could say it, she didn't know how to explain it now. Did you tell Lin Yi that Qin Tian didn't kill her at the time, just to take 2 photos with her? Who will believe this? No doubt. It's a dilemma again. Qin Tian also used this trick when he dealt with Wang Ling and Yi Wuya last time. But this time it was more pure. Because Qin Tian didn't do anything to Xiaoling Shuang, but just used Lin Yi's suspicious character. Yes, suspicious. Although Lin Yi's biggest weakness is, I don't know how to be too arrogant and too conceited. But in his character after rebirth, there is indeed a characteristic of suspiciousness. He suspects that the Shadow League has an insider, and also suspects that many people want to harm him. So Qin Tian used the divorce meter again. Suspicious? It's not really a weakness. This can only be regarded as a personality trait. Just like Cao Cao's suspicious nature. And as a strong person, it's normal to be more suspicious and it's not a big deal. It's just this personality trait that once used by others, it can have a very good effect. Just like now, Xiaoling Shuang kept trust and loyalty to Lin Yi from beginning to end. But does Lin Yi believe her? Since he was reborn, he looked at everyone like a treacherous villain. After hearing Xiaoling Shuang's words, his trust in Xiaoling Shuang began to waver. He forced you? Lin Yi asked in a low voice. Yes, but I just took 2 photos with him. Xiaoling Shuang nodded, and then quickly explained. Although she didn't want Lin Yi to misunderstand at this moment, even she herself felt that her explanation was a little pale and weak. And after her explanation, Lin Yi became even more suspicious. The other party not only saved her life, but also used coercive means to take 2 photos with her? Who believes it? Although Lin Yi was very skeptical, he, as the protagonist, did not directly show it. I just took 2 photos? Then I'm relieved. Ling Shuang, you go back and rest first, and I'll call you later for dinner later. This okay? Brother, you too, ah. Xiaoling Shuang hesitated to speak, and finally, he could only sigh helplessly. She and Lin Yi have been senior brothers and sisters for so many years, so naturally she knows that Lin Yi doesn't believe her words. But this kind of thing is now unclear, so she can only wait for a while, and after the matter fades, she will find a chance to tell Lin Yi clearly. But Lin Yi, who watched Xiaoling Shuang leave his back, gritted his teeth subconsciously at this time. The other party not only let you go, but also spent 2 days and 2 nights together just to force you to take 2 photos? Read more at wuxiax.com. Ling Shuang, are you even going to lie to me now? Ding. Succeed in provoking the protagonist Lin Yi and one of the heroines Autumn Ling Shuang. Get the villain value plus 800 and the protagonist Lin Yi luck value minus 100. Ding. Provoke the anger of the protagonist Lin Yi. Slightly change the protagonist's personality and plot and get the villain value plus 300. It's only 800. It seems that the level of provocation is not enough. Qin Tian, who had already returned to the hotel, muttered to himself. Lin Yi is the rebirth of the strong, always pretending to be a crushing mode. From beginning to end, I won't be really angry. Therefore, to cause his anger, there will be a villain value that changes the personality. This Qin Tian is not surprised at all. But the provocative relationship is obviously a bit less. I remember that the parents who provoke Yi Chun had an income of 1,000 villains. Now the hero and heroine is only 800? Qin Tian was a little speechless. However, he also knew that the two had a high degree of mutual trust before that. It will take some time to completely provoke the relationship between the two. There are 800 at the beginning, which is already very good. Not bad? Not bad. This 800 is a bit less. Qin Tian became more uncomfortable the more he thought about it, and once again picked up the phone and sent a voice to Lin Yi's penguin. After sending it, he was afraid that Lin Yi would not be able to see it, so he sent another text message to Lin Yi. Ding dong. Look at the penguin mailbox. Lin Yi frowned when he saw this text message. At this time, he didn't have time to ask how Qin Tian knew his penguin mailbox. I quickly clicked on my penguin mailbox. To be honest, he didn't want to watch it, because he doesn't like to be led by Qin Tian like a fool. But his inner curiosity forced him to do something. So after 2 minutes, it was the first time that Lin Yi heard Xiaoling Shuang called her husband, and still calls someone else's husband. Boom! The mobile phone was smashed to pieces by Lin Yi. Ding! Deepen the contradiction between the protagonist Lin Yi and one of the heroines Xiaoling Shuang. Get the villain value plus 500. Villain value. 12,300. Well, that's right. Qin Tian finally nodded with satisfaction. Qin Tian was satisfied, but Lin Yi was furious. Why did Lin Yi behave like this? In fact, this is normal, because most men don't want their women to be owned by other men. Lin Yi is no exception. Although Xiaoling Shuang became this because of him, but this seed of distrust has been planted. The apparent relationship between the two may not change much, but the relationship between boy and girl friends has become impossible. Speaking of this, I have to mention the previous Wolf King Yixian. In fact, Lin Yi is very similar to Yi Xian, but not. What is very similar is that both of them belong to the return of the strong, and when they come back, they are ready to start from the invincible crush. The difference is that Yi Xian, because he has spent a long time on the battlefield, doesn't pay much attention to women. As long as you feel suitable, the other party likes you too. Regardless of whether the other person is a young man before he knows him or not, he can accept it as his own woman. And Lin Yi is not only too strong in possession of baths, but also has a strong young girl complex for women. Take Xiao Lingshuang as an example. In his subconscious, in fact, he had already regarded Xiao Lingshuang as his own woman. It's just that his subconscious thought that, due to the extent of Xiao Lingshuang's admiration for him, she will sooner or later be his own, so there is no need to panic at all. But now, Xiao Lingshuang, who has always been her sister, has been put to sleep by others? It feels like a toy that I have cherished and I have been reluctant to play with has suddenly been stolen by someone else. In other words, no man can accept it. So Lin, he was very upset all over his body now. But Qin Tian didn't care what Lin Yi thought, because as he said, the show has just begun. I took out my phone and checked the time. It was just 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Qin Tian is going to call to inquire about the specific situation of Xiaolu. But before the number was dialed, Qin Shiji called. Hey dad, I thought I would never see you again. As soon as the phone was connected, Qin Shiji came over with a crying voice. Qin Tian was a little speechless. Okay, don't cry there. How many times has Laozi told you that the masculine man is going to stand upright? Look at you now, what does it look like crying and crying? Oh, I see, Dad. Qin Shiji wiped away tears aggrievedly. Tell me, how did you get kidnapped this time? Qin Tian asked Qin Shiji calmly. Although it is common for the children of the rich to be kidnapped, but as long as Qin Shiji is not in school, there is always a bodyguard around him. Want to kidnap him in this situation? The average kidnapper simply can't do it. Kidnapping? Unless it is a temporary motive, it must be several people together, and then after a long time of layout. And Lin Yi is the rebirth of the strong. There is only one person. He wanted to kidnap Qin Shiji, definitely not by accident. Therefore, it was judged by the fact that it took less than a month for him to have an enemy with Lin Yi. Lin Yi must have an accomplice in kidnapping Qin Shiji. And this accomplice is not an ordinary bastard. Otherwise, Lin Yi wouldn't be able to call to ask someone the moment he was attacked. The kidnapping of gangsters can't be done so unconsciously. It's even harder to pinch time so accurately. Dad, I really didn't do anything this time, Qin Shiji said very bitterly. In his mind, he just drank a drink. Who knew this would happen? Don't talk about these useless things. I'll let you pass by. Qin Tian said a little annoyed. Sure enough, teaching his son is not a matter of overnight. After educating himself so many times, this stupid son couldn't answer the key points every time. Oh, it's like this. Seeing that Laozi was angry, Qin Shiji didn't dare to neglect and quickly explained what happened. After listening, Qin Tian frowned. How does this trick feel familiar? Drinking to pieces? Was kidnapped when I woke up? Where's the bodyguard I gave you? Qin Tian frowned. Qin Shiji said, Chungbin said that his villa is closer to the bar, and he wants to take me to his house to rest, so he asked Brother Wang and the others to go back first. Brother Wang is the bodyguard who protects Qin Shiji. This Qin Tian knows. Just Chungbin? Wei Qingbin? Yup. Okay, I get it. Qin Tian nodded. Don't run around these 2 days. I will deal with this matter. Thank you, Dad. After hanging up the phone, Qin Tian took out his laptop after thinking for a while. Although the hotel is newly booked, the computer is also new. But the computer system and software can be backed up, so it will not affect the use at all. Wei Qingbin? Qin Tian muttered to himself. Lin Yi can see that Wei Qingbin likes Su Yinran, and naturally he can see Qin Tian. Because of love and hate this kind of thing, Qin Tian didn't see too much. Originally, he didn't want to doubt Wei Qingbin, but this time was a bit too coincidental, so he had to confirm it. There was a mess, and soon Wei Qingbin's WeChat chat record appeared in Qin Tian's line of sight. Seeing Wei Qingbin's chat history, Qin Tian's face went black. Resolutely took these screenshots and sent them to his son and accompanied the essay. Son, I will teach you another way to be a human being for your father. When you are away from home, you should never put your safety in the hands of another person except your parents, even if this person is your best friend ever. Seeing this passage sent to him by his father, Qin Shiji felt a little inexplicable, but when he saw those 2 screenshots, he directly exploded his hair. Stranger, do it tonight. Do you know what to do? Wei Qingbin, don't worry, based on my relationship with Qin Shiji, there must be no problem. Stranger, that's good. Then I will send someone outside the bar to meet you. Wei Qingbin, okay. Read more at wuxiax.com. Qin Shiji dialed Qin Tian's phone again. Dad, isn't this true? You don't even believe you, Laozi? No, I just think it's incredible. How can Chungbin? Qin Shiji suddenly thought of something. I see. He must think Su Yinran wants to be my mother too. That's why he helped others to kidnap me. You're not stupid. Qin Tian thought for a while, and then slowly said, well, you are now 20 years old. In order to let you grow up, I decided to leave this matter to you. What? Isn't it? Dad, I have never dealt with this kind of thing. I can't deal with it at all. I let you go just because you can't handle it. Qin Tian hates that iron cannot become steel and said, there is always the first time. If you really can't, just ask your grandfather, your uncle, and your third uncle. Anyway, don't ask me. I will. Since your old man said that, then I will try it. Well, that's it. Ding, succeed in educating my son and get the villain value plus 200. Mosquito legs are also meat. Seeing this system prompt, Qin Tian couldn't help but sigh with emotion. Is the villain worth 12,500? It's also okay. After solving these messy things, Qin Tian didn't have much to do, so he called directly to Lao Li who lived next door. Let's go. Lao Li, let's go eat. The exchange of hostages in the afternoon was 5 o'clock, and there was no time to eat. Okay, President Qin. Old Li nodded respectfully. He injured his right wrist, so it was another bodyguard who drove. Because of Qiu Lingshuang's lessons learned, they left one person in the hotel this time to watch. Avoid being taken advantage of again. Rolls-Royce went all the way, and the three quickly found a well-known Beijing restaurant in Yanjing. This restaurant is called Songa Tower, and it is a relatively well-known restaurant in the local area. The decoration is still high-end, but because the business is too hot. Therefore, both the lobby and the private rooms are too noisy, which obviously does not match Qin Tian's identity. Miss Qin, it's too noisy here. Do we need to book a room? Seeing so many people in the hall, Lao Li asked subconsciously. Booking? What is the chartering? Qin Tian didn't have a good air. Finally find a place where no one knows us. Can't you have a good meal? Just find a place to sit down, you guys too. Don't pay attention to so much today. This okay. By the way, President Qin, Zhou Wen and the others are here. Do you want them to go to the hotel directly? Or let them come here? The business here is so good. It should take a while before the food is served. They can still eat 2 bites here. Okay, I'll let them know. It's time for dinner now, and there are not many empty spaces in the restaurant. The three of them finally found a table, but the guests left after eating. Qin Tian didn't care either, and greeted the two of them to sit down and start ordering. There are too many high-end hotels, and it's good to change the taste occasionally. And the feeling of eating in this restaurant is the familiar feeling of Qin Tian. But well, in this world, there are always so many coincidences that you run into accidentally. For example, the hospital met Tang Shui before. Yanqing is so big. Can you even meet acquaintances in the hospital? How coincidental is this? Also like now. Just 10 minutes after Qin Tian ordered a good meal, a group of people came to the entrance of the restaurant. A group of people who look very arrogant. The head of this group is a woman who looks noble and generous in a white lace dress. Behind him, standing on the left and right sides, are 2 middle-aged men in their 40s and 50s. The middle-aged man on the right looks a little bald. Behind the 2 middle-aged men stood 2 middle-aged men, one tall and one fat, and 4 bodyguards. Behind the bodyguard, there was a large group of accompanied guests, visually estimated that there were more than 20 people. At this time, the group of people walked into the restaurant. Seeing so many customers in the restaurant, the middle-aged man on the left frowned. Then he looked at the somewhat bald middle-aged man on the right. Mr. Yang, this is the place you chose? President Mo calms down. Although dragons and snakes are mixed here, the steamed fresh arowana and soy sauce and crispy pigeon are unique in the entire Yanjing city. Many 5-star hotels can't reach this level. Really? President Mo's expression eased a little. But even so, you should know that we like quietness. Let us have dinner with these ordinary people. I'm afraid something is wrong, right? It's easy. Some bald CEO Yang smiled confidently, and then pulled over the hotel manager. After some negotiations, the restaurant manager was taken aback, then nodded. He walked slowly to the middle of the hall and patted his hand. Everyone, I'm really sorry, but today we need to close in advance because there is a distinguished customer in our shop. I'm sorry to everyone here first. However, in order to express our apologies, everyone's consumption tonight will be paid by this Miss Mo. The manager's words were impassioned, and everyone was talking about it. Only the bodyguard of Lao Li and Qin Tian was a little dumbfounded. The bodyguard's name is Shui Li. After hearing this, I couldn't help but vomit. Isn't it? Brother Li, our President Qin didn't make a reservation. These people actually want to make a reservation? Who said no? Old Li smiled. Not to mention them. Even Qin Tian couldn't help frowning. But the reason for his frown is not that the other party wants to book a room. It's the woman at the forefront of this group of people. Mo Lanqin? How could she appear here? And this woman looks more flavorful than Wang Ling. Mo Lanqin, Chun Yang's mother. He is also the current lord of Qingyang sect. Because Qin Tian has a background diagram of the protagonist, he knows what Mo Lanqin looks like. And because of the particularity of Mo Lanqin's identity, Qin Tian has a deep memory of her. The moment she saw her, Qin Tian recognized her. It's just that he now doesn't know what the other party's purpose is here. Qin Tian looked at this woman carefully. Mo Lanqin is the same wife as Wang Ling, but the conditions seem to be completely different. Wang Ling's body looks good, although she is also very temperamental in dressing. But generally speaking, it is a low-profile version of Gu Qingqing. And Mo Lanqin's appearance looks much more refined than Wang Ling. Coupled with the special temperament of the cultivator, she looks younger and more spiritual than ordinary women. Maybe the only regret is, her face was unsmiling, a bit like Su Yinran's expression when facing outsiders. And it may be because I miss Qin Yang and his son too much. There was a touch of sadness between her eyebrows. I'll go all free. Can you take it away? Real or fake? Then can I order an extra durian crisp? After hearing what the manager said, most of the guests were talking. However, everyone is basically not dissatisfied. After all, the word free is quite powerful for most people. The manager did not talk nonsense. While giving everyone a free bill, he also gave a 20% off coupon to every table guest. So Mo Lanqin brought a group of people to the rest area. The others began to leave quickly under the command of the waiter, hotel manager, and General Yang's bodyguard. Although there were some dissatisfied guests, when they saw the bodyguard standing behind Mr. Yang, they could only take their own benefits and leave the restaurant dingy. Seeing this scene, Mr. Yang nodded with satisfaction. Then he gestured to Mo Lanqin and the middle-aged man named Mo. Two, please. Mo Lanqin didn't speak, but nodded silently. The middle-aged man on his left was named Mo Changmei. It's Mo Lanqin's cousin. It was also the face that Mo Hai deliberately sent to prevent Lin Yi from discovering the abnormality. As for Mr. Yang, his name is Yang Nan. The identity does not seem to require explanation. He was just a puppet fostered by Qingyang sect. He could have reserved a position in advance, but he didn't. The purpose is to show the ability and value of their own business. Clearance? How awesome. Moreover, he is very good at being a human being. He originally paid the money himself, but he wanted to take the credit for Mo Lanxin's. I have to say that flattering skills are first-rate. Huh? Why haven't anyone left? After everyone walked to the middle of the hall and sat down, then Mo Changming discovered the situation on Qin Tian. In the corner of the hall, besides Qin Tian, there is a table of guests. There are 4 guests at this table, 2 couples with 2 children. Seeing this table of guests, Mr. Yang was taken aback first. Then he quickly stood up and walked forward with 2 bodyguards. Mr. Wang, don't come here unharmed. Read more at wuxiax.com. Oh, the man at this table was also a little surprised. Who am I? So it's Mr. Yang Yu? Yang Nan also smiled and said, Mr. Wang, give me some face. I will be the host another day. Please have a better meal. Okay, since it's you, Lao Yang, of course I want to give this face. Let's go, wife. Let's go to another house to eat. Okay. Speaking of this, Mr. Wang was also unambiguous, picked up his own things, and left the restaurant with his wife and children. Thank you, Zhongqing Wang, Mr. Yang said gratefully. The status of the 2 of them are similar, so the other side is willing to leave, which obviously gave him a lot of face. So just like that, there are only 3 waves of people left in the entire hall. King Yangzong, Qin Tian, and the staff of the restaurant. Qin Tian's dishes have been served twice, so he is eating at this time, and simply ignores them. And Mr. Yang saw that Qin Tian didn't move, his brows suddenly wrinkled. These guys are very face-to-face. Brothers, let's save face. Fuck off. Qin Tian didn't want to care at all, and directly sent the opponent back impatiently. Clear the room for dinner? Laozi has crossed the rivers and lakes for decades, and I have never been the only one who clears other people's places when I eat. When will anyone dare to clear their own field? Besides, you usually have meals. Can't you book the venue in advance? Want to come to clear the venue temporarily? What to pretend to be? Hearing Qin Tian's unceremonious words, Mr. Yang frowned, but he was not annoyed either. It seems that several of you are not satisfied with the restaurant's handling just now. It's okay. You can tell me what you want. As long as the request is reasonable, I will try my best to satisfy it. Try to satisfy? Hearing this, Qin Tian put down the dishes, wiped his mouth with a paper towel, and calmly looked at the wave of people in front of him. What background do you dare to say such things? Seeing Qin Tian put down the chopsticks, Lao Li and Shui Li also put them down. A few of you can give it a try. Yang Nan smiled lightly and continued to speak. He is very confident now, because he has been in Yanjing for more than 30 years. It also took several years to become the spokesperson of the Qingyang sect. I dare not say how rich I am, but there is absolutely no problem with contacts. Does Qin Tian need to give him face? No need. Not to mention that he knows the identities of this group of people and intends to test the strength of these people. Even if he doesn't know, his Qin Tian cannot be cleaned up as if by others. Laozi is a villain, a boss. How can you be a kid? So after pretending to think for a while, Qin Tian said very seriously, then you give me 1 billion cash. Yang Nan. Seeing that the other party did not speak, Qin Tian continued and said, as long as you give me 1 billion in cash, I promise to leave here immediately. How about 10 billion? Yang Nan twitched, a little impulsive to hit someone. It costs 1 billion for a place to eat? Why don't you grab it? No, grabbing is not as fast as you. Yang Nan is not stupid, knowing that Qin Tian deliberately used him to get rid of him. So after taking a look at Qin Tian, speak again. Brother, are you deliberately not giving me face? Face. Qin Tian said lightly. I finally came here to have a meal. I ate well, but I was disturbed by you. Have you ever given me face? Hearing this, Yang Nan frowned. Do you know who I am? Then do you know who I am? Qin Tian didn't answer the question. When this remark came out, everyone was shocked. Especially Yang Nan has a more solemn look in his eyes. You are. Yanjing is a city full of high officials. It is possible to bring a passerby here, and it is possible that they are the descendants of a certain high-ranking official. Now I see Qin Tian's extraordinary appearance and that powerful aura. Yang Nan's heart was obviously a little confused. Boy, no matter who you are, you must leave here today. When Yang Nan was in a dilemma, Mo Changming suddenly appeared behind him. The tone is arrogant and arrogant. Qin Tian didn't care at all and glanced at him contemptuously. What? You are in charge of Yanjing now. The protagonist pretends to be forceful in front of him. Qin Tian can still understand. After all, it's the protagonist, so we won't be familiar with them. It is understandable that the protagonist's parents pretend to be forceful in front of themselves. After all, they are close relatives of the protagonist and have the influence of the protagonist's halo. But now these relatives who couldn't beat them by 8 polls also ran in front of them to pretend to be coercive? This is a bit unbearable. Mo Changming didn't give any reason. Yanjing, I said no, but now we have the final say in this restaurant. Then if I don't leave, are you going to do something here? Ignorant child, you are looking for death. Xiagua has 20 or 30 sects, large and small. But all sects are basically hidden from the world. This is especially true for the 5 major sects. Among all the small and medium sects, the Qingyang sect is not the strongest. But the strength is also biased towards the middle and upper reaches. So their behavior is a bit arrogant. As for the sect people, why are they so arrogant? The reasons are somewhat complicated. But among these reasons, the biggest one is from the country. The state's restraining power on these sects with special power is obviously much smaller than that of ordinary people. The purpose is just to let them get the same treatment as their own strength. Otherwise, if the people of these sects hold back for too long and commit crimes everywhere, it will cause greater trouble to the country. Does the country know the existence of these sects? This seems to be taken for granted. Zoman is after all Zoman. Even if these sects remain hidden from the world, they are still in the territory of Xia Kingdom. With the power of the country, it is impossible not to know their existence. And not only did they know, they even included some. Although most sects still like freedom, there are always some people who are willing to work for the country. Therefore, Xia Guo's requirement for the sect is that as long as it does not affect the normal operation of the society, he should not do too much. They will open one eye and close the other. The cultivators compete with each other, and they even ignore it. As for those sects who said that they did not submit, they should be sent directly to annihilate them? This question is simply nonsense. Not to mention that these sects may become hidden powers to protect the country. It is impossible to do this just by eliminating this kind of thing. You know, the sects are related to each other. After annihilating one, what about the collective rebellion of other sects? This feeling is like a mutant in the X-Men. Once a move is made to wipe out the mutants, the country will become even more chaotic. Therefore, things like the death of the one against me are basically impossible. The topic is a bit distant. In short, I have said so much just to show that these sect people have their own arrogant capital. Most of them do things in their own way. When I saw Qin Tian's tone with ridicule, Mo Chaming understood that this kid was deliberately provoking. Therefore, he also didn't have the thought of trying to benefit from Qin Tian, and walked directly towards Qin Tian with a loud anger. He did not run, but slowly walked towards the three with the help of a strong man. Why do you want to do it? Shueli frowned and got up to stop. How can he be Mo Chaming's opponent? Go away. Boom. Mo Chaming didn't even look at it, and he kicked Shueli out in just one round. His speed is extremely fast, and the angle is tricky, so Shueli can't hide it all. Seeing Shueli stepping forward, Lao Li also wanted to step forward, but Qin Tian held his shoulders in time. I saw him lightly pat the tabletop when Shueli was just kicked into the air. Where the palm of the hand fell, the chopsticks in the chopstick cage leaped into the sky under the influence of the true energy. Qin Tian waved backhand on these chopsticks. Lakela, countless chopsticks, as if they had eyes, turned and shot at Mo Chaming at an extremely fast speed. Read more at wuxiax.com. This person, Mo Chaming's expression changed. He obviously didn't expect that Qin Tian would still do this. Fortunately, his strength is not weak. After kicking Shueli away, he responded in time. Somersault, jump, volley, spin, retreat, and hide and block. All the movements seem to be panic, but in fact they are very coherent. In the end, Mo Chaming knelt on one knee, and he held only one chopstick that shot towards his front door. Everything is done between the electric light flint. My god, this is shooting a martial arts movie? Too exaggerated. Unexpectedly, this person is also. After the fight between the two sides was over, Mr. Yang and the others reacted. One or two both showed surprised expressions. Qin Tian shocked the four people, using chopsticks as a hidden weapon. Mo Chaming, take the hidden weapon with his bare hands? Is this still a human? They're just spokespersons supported by Qin Yang's sect. Although I also know that the people of the sect are extremely powerful, but I really didn't expect to be so powerful. And the other party seems to be awesome too. In fact, let alone them. Even Mo Lanxin looked at Qin Tian's beautiful eyes with a hint of surprise. This person is also a master? Grandmaster, even in their sect, is one of the few. Unexpectedly, in this seemingly not so small shop, there is still such a number one person. Mo Chaming looked at Qin Tian's eyes and also became serious. Although he perfectly caught the hidden weapon Qin Tian hit, he was obviously embarrassed. But this is not the point. The point is that the other party does not touch the chopsticks with their hands. Can the chopsticks have such a lethal power? This is so obvious that it is the exudation of true energy that the Grandmaster has. And the hidden weapon attainments are not low? Grandmaster? Thinking of this, Mo Chaming also stood up altogether, still holding chopsticks in his hand. He held his fist directly towards both sides of Qin Tian. So, I didn't expect your excellency to be a fellow man? This is over? Qin Tian asked indifferently. Are the people in this sect so awesome? Hit someone, the same person will be over? Hearing Qin Tian's words, Mo Chaming was also unambiguous, and looked at Shueli who stood up while holding his stomach. After thinking for a while, he returned to his seat and took out a small white porcelain bottle from his bag. The mouth of the small porcelain bottle was stoppered by sorghum. Mo Chaming hesitated for a while holding the small porcelain bottle, and then directly turned and handed it to Qin Tian. Here is a medium-grade solid foundation pill, which is to apologize to this brother. What do you think? Oh. Hearing this, Qin Tian was a little surprised. I thought they were a little bit awesome just now. Why are they so generous now? A medium-quality pill for strengthening the original and pay you on? Couldn't this thing be sold for 100 million? Just send it out to apologize? After receiving the small porcelain bottle, Qin Tian looked at it carefully. It's still a bit sincere. Mo Chaming heaved a sigh of relief. Then please take your time. I won't bother. Go. But don't we need to go out? Of course not. Mo Chaming hurriedly said, haha. With your strength, you should sit and eat wherever you are. The changes in the field were a bit sudden. Mo Chaming, who was still alive just now, suddenly improved his attitude. It's a gift and a smile. This looks incredible to Mr. Yang and others. But in the eyes of Mo Lanxin and others, it couldn't be more normal. After all, the other party is a master. Although Mo Chaming is also in the realm of Grandmaster, what happened just now is obviously that they are wrong first. They just came to Yinjing. It is not wise to be an enemy of a master for this kind of thing. So there is nothing wrong with giving a pill to calm people down. Li Zhao, it's just that Qin Tian doesn't know this. He only felt that the other party's behavior was a bit strange. The other party is also a sect at any rate. Directly sending a pill worth 100 million yuan to apologize? This seems a bit wrong, right? Hello? Can I bother you? Just when Qin Tian was thinking about this issue, Lao Li just helped Shui Li to sit down. A very polite voice reached the ears of the three of them. Qin Tian turned his head. But Emma Lanqin came here? Busy. What happened just now is that we are not right, so please don't take it to heart. Say it straight if you have something, don't need to be circumspect. Qin Tian picked up the teacup on the table and said calmly. He is not a magnanimous person, so naturally he will not lose a smile immediately after the other party apologizes. This gentleman looks a bit face-to-face. I don't know which sect belongs to. Emma Lanqin looked at Qin Tian and asked seriously. Which sect? Hearing this, Qin Tian had a strange expression on his face, because it suddenly occurred to him that his sect doesn't seem to have a name yet. To be honest, Emma Lanqin looks much better than Wang Ling overall. But Qin Tian didn't catch a cold at all for Emma Lanqin's move to clear the court. But now, the other party is so polite, Qin Tian can't say much. It's just a small sect, don't mention it. Qin Tian waved his hand at will. His sect has not been established for long, and the issue of the name has not been discussed. When he can't think of a good name for a while, he can only apply medicine. It's just that Emma Lanqin didn't give up. Since my husband doesn't want to disclose, then I won't force it. But can you meet me? My name is Emma Lanqin. What is your husband's name? Qin Tian. Mr. Qin, nice to meet you. Emma Lanqin proactively stretched out his hand. Since most cultivators have used pill, they look younger than ordinary people. It's just that the other party is so active, making Qin Tian a little confused. Qin Tian didn't have time to think too much, and arbitrarily raised his hand and shook it with the other party. Women's hands are as soft as boneless, and they are different from the cold hands of ordinary women at any time. Her hands are warm. The feeling of starting is very comfortable. The two split immediately. You take it slow, let's ask for this meal. Just as if it was to make a friend, Emma Lanqin politely exchanged a few words with Qin Tian, and then turned around and left. Looking at the back of Emma Lanqin's departure, Qin Tian couldn't help falling into contemplation. Before Mo Changming sent a pill to apologize, it made him a little confused. Because the Qingyang sect is not weak. Even if you want to apologize, you won't be able to directly send a $100 million pill. Now what the hell is Mo Lanqin doing? He is a rich man and a master. Has a charm value of 1,500 points. It is normal for ordinary girls to take the initiative to approach themselves. But this Mo Lanqin, who is a wife, will be attracted by her own 1,500 charisma points? Isn't it unscientific? Hey, why are there not many people in this restaurant? Didn't it mean that the business here is very hot? As Qin Tian thought, a simple voice rang. Then, another old man's voice came. Who knows? But now is not the time to ask about this. Let's go to Mr. Qin first. Hey, that's right. Alas, the boss is there. Boss, come, sit down. Seeing the three people who came, Qin Tian was not too surprised, and pointed to the seat next to him. There is no doubt that Zhou Wen and Wang Yi are here. Read more at wuxiax.com. Although it was Dan Chenzi who led the team, Qin Tian was a little surprised. But this is not a big deal. Boss, have you ever had a fight here? Seeing Shui Li hit the table, chair and bench, Wang Yi asked with a puzzled look. I just fought, but the other party apologized for something. Qin Tian calmly threw the porcelain bottle in front of Dan Chenzi. Old Lu, help me see if this thing is true or not. Okay, Mr. Qin. Medium-grade consolidating pill. Is it true? Qin Tian only knows what the perfect class looks like. Obviously, there is not enough awareness of these defective products. Of course it's true. That's good, otherwise Shui Li would have been in vain with that kick just now. By the way, Mr. Lu, I feel a bit wrong in the situation just now. Qin Tian looked at Dan Chenzi next to him, and explained the previous matter and his doubts. I want to ask who here is most familiar with things in the cultivation world. There is no second person besides Dan Chenzi. The loyalty of everyone present is more than 90%. Even Shui Li is 87%. So Qin Tian did not hide anything. After listening to Qin Tian's account, Dan Chenzi laughed. Haha, what Qin said just now is actually normal. Because in many sects, the master is basically the ceiling of combat effectiveness, and it is very rare to meet between a master and a master. So after President Qin showed the characteristics of a master, they wanted to make friends with President Qin and make a good relationship. There is nothing wrong with this. Is Grandmaster so popular? Qin Tian was a little speechless, and even if what you said is the truth, it wouldn't mean that I didn't do anything. They would BGCD, give me a solid foundation, and apologize. After hearing the words, Dan Chenzi handed the small porcelain bottle back to Qin Tian, and continued to explain with a smile. The disciples of the sect do not need to consolidate the original pill, they are just selling money for resources. Moreover, this pill is worth 100 million Xiaoguo coins. Use 100 million Xiaoguo coins to get to know a Grandmaster. They've already made a lot of money. Oh, I didn't expect that Grandmaster would have so many benefits. After listening to Dan Chenzi's explanation, Qin Tian also smiled. He handed the porcelain bottle to Shui Li, since that's the case. Then, Shui Li, take this thing. President Qin, this can't be done. Seeing Qin Tian pushing the small porcelain bottle to himself, Shui Li was stunned. This thing is so expensive, how can I dare to accept it? What he is talking about to several people is still not very clear. But when Dan Chenzi said that this thing was worth 100 million, he felt weak in his legs and feet. 100 million? Just give it away? And even if you want to give it away, it's not your turn to look at it, right? This is an apology gift from someone else, and I have planned for the other person. You can take it first. This. Let you take it. What is the ink? Zhou glanced at him and said coldly, "This person is considered his subordinate, so he has the right to say this." "Yes, thank you, Mr. Qin. You're welcome." Qin Tian didn't care. "By the way, Mr. Liu, didn't I just call Wang Yi and Zhou over? Why did you follow?" "Oh, President Qin, I'll talk about this when I go back." "Okay." Dan Chenzi felt that this was not a place to speak, so he didn't explain his intentions for the time being. But after the small storm just now, Qin Tian finally finished the meal normally. It is worth mentioning that when Qin Tian was preparing to leave with everyone, Mo Lanqin ordered someone to come over and asked for Qin Tian's WeChat. Because of Dan Chenzi's explanation, Qin Tian was not surprised by Mo Lanqin's behavior. Looking at the backs of the few Qin Tian people leaving, Mo Changming squinted his eyes. Li Peng of the intelligence department spoke slowly. "This one named Qin Tian is also a grandmaster, and it seems that he is also here for this auction. It's a bit troublesome." "What's the trouble? I haven't encountered this situation before." "That's right. What's the big deal with the soldiers coming to cover the water and earth? And the auction items are the ones with the higher prices." "It's true that he is a master, but can he be richer than us?" "Well, it makes sense." Hearing everyone talking, Mo Lanqin was puzzled. "Because the white-haired old man just now seems a bit familiar." Dan Chenzi is a Yunyu physician and a 7th-rank alchemist. In the practice world, it can be considered a small name. It's just that his whereabouts are more erratic than Xiaoling Shuang. So few people have seen him. Mo Lanqin had met Dan Chenzi once before, so she felt a little familiar. It made sense. But Qin Tian doesn't care about these trivial things. Back to the hotel, with a group of people, Dan Chenzi also told him why he came. Tian Lingua? After listening to Dan Chenzi's words, Qin Tian suddenly realized, so that's it. Because Dan Chenzi is responsible for the affairs of the sect. Therefore, Steward Feng, who arranged for someone to inquire about Tian Kai Dibao. After inquiring about the news, he told Dan Chenzi all the news. He also came because of this. In other words, may Qingyang sect also come for this stuff? It shouldn't be wrong. Dan Chenzi nodded slightly. Although he didn't know the exact location of the Qingyang sect, the people of these sects never appeared in groups. Once it appears, it must have its own mission or goal. There are still 5 days left, that is the charity auction. The purpose of Qingyang sect is really not too obvious. "Ah, it's interesting." Qin Tian smiled. After so long, Qin Tian also learned about the rarity of Tianling fruit. Although he doesn't need this stuff himself, does his people need it? Therefore, it is absolutely necessary to grab. Looked at the villain value of 12,500 in his system. Qin Tian had already planned to use it in his heart. In order to grab the heavenly spirit fruit, in addition to having enough money, you must also have enough strength. And if you want to improve your strength, you have to take drugs. Pill. Qin Tian muttered to himself and quickly checked his system. Because Qin Tian has already used bone-changing pills worth 10,000 villains before. So he wanted to use the pill to improve his strength, in addition to the Jinqi pill he was using now. You can only use the pill after the bone-changing pill. This pill after the bone-changing pill has a name that Qin Tian is very familiar with, Ishisue pill. That's right, it is a kind of elixir necessary for cutting hair and washing marrow in many Shoshin novels. Can I start cultivating immortals after eating this stuff? This Qin Tian doesn't know either. However, there are many prerequisites for using this stuff. In addition to having to use the bone-changing pill, it also needs 100 years of Jinqi as a foundation. Otherwise, I can't hold the power of this medicine. And most importantly, this thing is worth 20,000 villains. 20,000 Qin Tian can't afford it at all now. 100 years of true Qi has to add 20,000 villains, and time is simply too late. So Qin Tian decided after a period of research. "Old Liu, please call Wang Yi and Zhou over." "Good, President Qin." Dan Chenzi didn't talk nonsense and left Qin Tian's room directly. And Qin Tian, taking advantage of this time, exchanged 2 pills from the system. "Then I found 2 red wine glasses in the presidential suite and put them in the glasses." Read more at wuxiax.com. When Dan Chenzi brought 2 people over, he watched Qin Tian handing 2 red wine glasses to Zhou Wen and Wang Yisha respectively. Dan Chenzi was dumbfounded. Perfect-grade Jinqi pills and perfect-grade blood replacement pills? President Qin is so big. 2 pills, one with a faint blue halo. One exudes a faint blood-red halo. Seeing these 2 pills, Dan Chenzi suddenly had the illusion that Qin Tian no longer needed himself. Where did the perfect blood exchange pill come from? Give it as you want? Perceiving the strange expression of Dan Chenzi, Qin Tian smiled faintly. "I'm just a temporary rescue. If you want long-term development, you have to rely on you. Just use it." Dan Chenzi smiled bitterly. His ability is to refine pill. If Qin Tian can take out the pill of this level at any time, then he is still playing with woolen yarn? So when Qin Tian said this, he was also relieved. The exchange pill requires 5,000 villains. Zenkawin needs 2,000 villain value. Qin Tian 12500 just exchanged for 2 blood exchange pills and 1 Jinqi pill. Because the replacement pill is the key to promotion to the master. Therefore, if Wang Yi obtained a blood exchange pill, he could be promoted to the Grandmaster realm. However, Zhou Wen first took a Jinqi pill and then a blood exchange pill so that he could be directly promoted to the realm of pseudo-Grandmaster. The reason Zhou Wen is a pseudo-Grandmaster is because the lowest standard of the Grandmaster realm is that his true energy has reached the level of 20 years. There is only 1 perfect Jinqi pill, which is obviously not enough. However, due to time constraints, Qin Tian couldn't help it. The false Grandmaster is the false Grandmaster. It's better than the Xianshan Feng Master, who has 30 years of true aura. Wang Yi spent 8,000 and the blood exchange pill 5,000, which means that I only need to spend 13,000 villains to create a master? Thinking of this, Qin Tian couldn't help raising a smile at the corner of his mouth. Although directly buying innate masters, there is a chance that they will be masters. But now that there is not enough time, it is obviously safer to do so. No words for a night. 10 o'clock in the morning the next day. Qin Tian woke up from his sleep and dialed Moody's phone directly. Hey Moody, help me use the shares of the Yi family for some working capital. How much do I need to change? It's about 10% change. Don't worry, change it slowly. Good President Qin, you need cash to buy things. Although it may not be enough, it is always right to prepare more. 10% of the Yi family can be exchanged for about 20 billion. This is not a small sum, even if it is a listed group. It will take some time to realize these stocks. But Qin Tian is not in a hurry. Anyway, for a rich man like him, it is impossible to be short of money. Even if he needs temporary money, he can also borrow a lot from the bank. After solving the matter of funds, Qin Tian called Zhou Wen over again and gave him the remaining blood exchange pill. Wang Yi is now in the realm of Grandmaster, and Zhou Wen took a Jinchi pill. After eating this blood replacement pill, it will become a pseudo-Grandmaster realm. I have to say that the speed at which Qin Tian makes the strong is one of the fastest. Looking at the remaining 500 villains in the system, Qin Tian was a little speechless. He wasn't heartbroken, he was just feeling that this thing was used too quickly. But well, this person, once he has no money, he will desperately want to make money. Qin Tian has no villain value, and desperately wants to earn villain value. So Qin Tian took out his mobile phone directly after thinking about it for a while. I found out the photos, videos, and recordings taken 2 days ago. Then I found Lin Yi's penguin number and mobile phone number. Lin Yi, burn it, your little universe. After talking about all kinds of sending, all kinds of high, on Lin Yi's side, as soon as he finished his training, he heard the phone ding-dong, and the ding-dong kept ringing. 10 minutes later, Yiwu, boom. Lin Yi's newly bought mobile phone was cut into 2 pieces again by him. Ding, the protagonist Lin Yi has less than 50% trust in one of the heroines, Qiulingshuang, and has gained plus 500 as the villain value. The protagonist Lin Yi has a luck value of minus 100. Okay. Qin Tian smiled slightly, very satisfied with this result. Lin Yi's heat is almost there, so next, click on WeChat and find Mo Lanqin's profile picture. You are Sec Master Qingyang? Mo Lanqin? Mr. Qin, do you have any advice? I seem to have heard of you before. What happened before? What happened? Mo Lanqin's eyebrows twitched. A friend named Chen Xiaodian told me about you. You know Xiaodian? Mo Lanqin's heart was shaken. The heart that had been frozen for a long time immediately became restless. Ding attracted the attention of the key character Mo Lanqin and gained plus 300 villain value. Sure enough, I'm just a villain. There is a connection between Zhongmin and Zhongmin. Although not all sects are connected, the sect circle still exists. So Qin Tian didn't know who Mo Lanqin was at the time, and only sent a message to Mo Lanqin to confirm her identity after returning. Mo Lanqin didn't doubt anything. However, Mo Lanqin was really shocked when he saw the next 2 messages sent to him by Qin Tian. Chen Xiaodian? This made her remember the name for half a lifetime. Will it actually appear in Qin Tian's mouth? How can it be? Yes, when I was on a business trip, I met a friend named Chen Xiaodian. From his mouth, I know something about you back then. Qin Tian lied at will. Now he is becoming more and more comfortable to be a villain. No matter what lies, you just open your mouth. Fortunately, he chose the full-level acting at the time. Otherwise, he would inevitably show some guilt when he tells so many lies. Mr. Qin, can I ask you to have a meal alone? Seeing this news from Qin Tian, Mo Lanqin forcibly endured his inner excitement and directly replied to Qin Tian. Upon hearing the news of Chen Xiaodian again, there was no way to calm her heart. You know, when she was separated from Chen Xiaodian, she didn't have a mobile phone. In order to protect their father and son, she forcibly resisted not contacting them. Later, I stayed in the Zhongmin for a long time and finally found the opportunity to contact them. But Chen Xiaodian and his son had already disappeared. Over the years, while dealing with the sect, she dispatched cronies to investigate the whereabouts of Chen Xiaodian and his son. Several times in the middle was discovered by the sect. Let her search for it several times, but she has found nothing. So she has never been in touch all these years. Originally, she almost gave up, but now the appearance of Qin Tian suddenly gave her a hope. How can this make her not excited? Eating alone? Qin Tian deliberately replied, Miss Mo, we only met yesterday, and we will eat alone today. I'm afraid this is a bit wrong, right? Mo Lanqin came back to his senses. Only then did you discover that the other party was a man? But at this time she can't control that much. Mr. Qin, don't get me wrong, I just want to know news about Xiaodian. The news of Xiaodian is really important to me. So Mr. Qin, please trouble you. That's it, it's okay. Then go to the Emperor Hotel. I will send you a message after I open the private room. After Qin Tian pretended to hesitate for a while, he set an address at will. The Zhuanhuang Hotel is very close to the hotel where he stayed, and there is no need to bother. Can. Mo Lanqin said decisively. After finishing the WeChat conversation with Qin Tian, Mo Lanqin glanced at the girl who lived in the same room with him. Donger, President Mo. Go. Hang out with me? Okay, President Mo. Donger is her close maid. No, it's a servant. Maid is the former name. Now they're called nanny or servant. Read more at wuxiax.com. Just like the sect master, they used to be called the sect master. Now they are all called the XX chief. This is called advancing with the times. In the entire Qingyang sect, there are not many people who know about her. Few people in the younger generation know. But Donger is obviously an exception. Where is President Mo going? As soon as he took Donger out of the hotel door, he was stopped by 2 bodyguards arranged by Mo Changming. Mo Lanqin's eyes dazzled. What? Where am I going? Do I need to report to you? I'm really sorry, President Mo. We are only following orders. I want to go shopping with Donger, but I don't want you to follow, Mo Lanshin said coldly. If you have to follow, don't blame me for being polite. Without waiting for the reaction of the two bodyguards, Mo Lanshin already took Donger and left. Seeing this scene, the two bodyguards couldn't help but smile. Mo Lanshin is now different from the past. Where would they dare to contradict her? On the other side, Qin Tian, who saw Mo Lanshin's reaction, showed a smile at the corner of his mouth. At this moment, he felt that he was becoming more and more like a villain. The intelligence brought by the villain's eyes and background information. Enough for him to play these protagonists and big guys between the palms of his hands. Pushing the door open, Shueli stood at the door. After using the pill, his spirit and energy have changed a lot. Shueli, go call Zhou Wen over again. Okay, President Qin. After a while, Zhou Wen pushed in. The blood exchange pill allows the cultivator to control the true qi in the body more freely. Zhou Wen at this time, although only absorbed the Jinqi pills for one day, but because he had just used the blood replacement pill, his strength had undergone a qualitative change. President Qin, Zhou Wen respectfully said. Qin Tian nodded. Arrange a task for you. At 12 noon, the Emperor Hotel. Qin Tian sits in the private room. Wang Yi guards at the door. After Mo Lanshin came with Dong, he didn't care and pushed the door directly in. Qin Tian is handsome and full of manly, but at this time Mo Lan had no time to appreciate it. Mr. Qin, hello? Hello. Please sit down. Mr. Qin, I won't say more nonsense. Can you please tell me about Xiaodian in detail? I ordered lunch. How about, shall we eat and talk? Bro, it's 12 noon, so it's okay to have a meal. Donger, please go to the door and guard me. Okay, President Mo. The girl who asked Donger to turn around and leave waited for the waiter to start serving dishes. Qin Tian then slowly began to tell about Chen Xiaodian. Of course, he couldn't tell Mo Lanshin the real thing. It's just that he met Chen Xiaodian by chance during a business trip and had some intersections with him. Although these things were all fabricated by Qin Tian, Mo Lanshin listened with great gusto. After Qin Tian finished speaking for a while, Mo Lanshin couldn't help but ask, Mr. Qin, do you think Xiaodian, is he doing well? I don't know how to do it. Qin Tian shook his head after taking a sip of tea. Anyway, when I met him, I was drunk all day. But your son Qinyang is pretty good, handsome, and capable. Qin Tian's words are still half-truths, and Mo Lanshin's eyes are flushed. Especially when she heard the news of her son. She couldn't help crying. I'm sorry, Xiaodian and Xiaoyang. Seeing Mo Lanshin, who kept wiping tears, Qin Tian had to sigh the power of this bloody plot. You know, in modern society, if such a thing happens, they hadn't seen each other for more than 20 years, and they had long been looking for a new love, got married, and had children. How could it be possible to have such deep feelings? Qin Tian handed over a paper towel in time. Mo Lanshin took it and wiped his tears. I'm really sorry, Mr. Qin. I made you laugh. It's okay, I can understand. Mr. Qin, do you still have Xiaoyan's contact information? This does not. Qin Tian shook his head and panicked again. It was originally there, but after a long time there was no contact. When I called again, the other party's number was already empty. So, is there an address? I'm really sorry, Miss Mo. This happened a long time ago. You also know that the country has changed rapidly over the years, and many places have been changed beyond recognition. So if you want to find them, you have to go and see them in person to know. But now, I can't leave Yinjing. I understand. Mo Lanshin nodded. Mr. Qin, you come to Yinjing this time. Also to participate in that charity auction, right? You too? Not bad. Mo Lanshin nodded without evasiveness. Mr. Qin, how about we make a deal? What deal? You help me find Xiaodian. I won't compete with you for this auction item, and I will give you some additional training resources in exchange. Ding. Gain the trust of the key character Mo Lanshin. Slightly change the plot trend, and get the villain value plus 300. Ding. The key character Mo Lanshin learned the news of Chun Yang and his son. In advance, changed the plot, and got the villain value plus 500. The villain has 2,100 points again. Seeing these system prompts, Qin Tian was very satisfied. For him, it didn't matter if the plot changed. As long as the villain's value arrives, everything is not a problem. Although the thought of Mo Lanshin's plan for a routine, Qin Tian felt some guilt in his heart. But is he a villain? How can the villain have such a mentality of guilt? What's more, Chen Xiaodian attacked him before, so there is nothing wrong with cheating him himself. Therefore, in the face of Mo Lanshin's proposal, Qin Tian pretended to hesitate for a while, and reluctantly agreed. That's all. Qin Tian not only gained the trust of Mo Lanshin, but also got some training materials. Although I don't know what kind of training materials Mo Lanshin will give him. But can you find Chen Xiaodian? When did you find Chen Xiaodian? What will happen in the process of finding Chen Xiaodian? Isn't it all up to you? So no matter how you look at it, you won't lose. After telling the story with Mo Lanshin and having lunch together, it was already 1:30 noon. Mo Lanshin bid farewell and left. The corner of Qin Tian's mouth raised a smile. Take Wang Yi out of the hotel. Qin Tian soon returned to the hotel where he lived. At this moment, Zhou Wen appeared in his guest room with the SLR camera. President Qin, how did you shoot? It's all taken. That's good. Qin Tian nodded slightly. There is nothing wrong with these days. You can get familiar with your own power in the hotel with Wang Yi. It's fine to leave the security work to Shueli for now. Okay, President Qin, because Dan Chenzi, Wang Yi and Zhou Wen are all recruited by Qin Tian using the system. So loyalty and ability are guaranteed. And because Dan Chenzi is a pill refiner, there is no room for improvement. That's why Qin Tian decided to promote the other two people into his left and right hands. Wang Yi is in the Ming and Zhou Wen is in the dark, and he can do many things for himself. After arranging everything, Qin Tian looked at the time. There are 4 days before the auction begins. He didn't plan to go back to Tumen for the past 4 days. He planned to play in Yinjing. In addition to the spare time, I prepared the materials to be used next. All that is left is the bubble bath, press the massage, and eat a big meal. These leisure and entertainment activities have made Qin Tian's whole body and mind fully relaxed. Maybe the only regret is that he came over this time, thinking it was just a solution to Xiaochun. So I didn't bring a girlfriend or anything. I feel a little panicked for more than 10 days now. In his capacity, he didn't bother to find any peripheral women. So I've been holding back till now. Jingle bell. The afternoon before the auction. Qin Tian is lying on the chair of the presidential suite, lazily blowing on the air conditioner. Su Yanran called. Hey, Uncle Qin, are you still in Yinjing now? In the previous few days, the two also chatted from time to time, so Su Yanran knew Qin Tian's whereabouts. Correct. Then my plane tomorrow morning. When I arrive, I will come and look for you. When will you arrive? I will pick you up. Read more at wuxiax.com. Qin Tian said something intimately. Anyway, these 2 days have been idle, so I might as well find something to do. Upon hearing this, the Soviet Union's sweetheart happy exception. But he still said, are you here to pick me up? That's okay. What's wrong? We have all determined the relationship. That trouble you. What are you polite to me? Lang is affectionate. Sister is interested. Since determined the relationship, Qin Tian would not like to have too much sense from both sides. Cutting the mess with a sharp knife is the operation that the old driver should have. This auction will start at 2:30 in the afternoon. Because it is a charity auction, so there is no so much stress. There is nothing for invitations. As long as the rich person who has received the invitation in advance or applied for it, after the identity is verified by the staff, over newspaper phone numbers directly can participate. Qin Tian has no business in Yinjing, so he doesn't know anyone. But Su Suite significantly different. The business of the Su family is quite special because of its special nature, so there is a place for them here. This is also the reason why she knew about this auction before Qin Tian. Su Yanran's plane was 9 o'clock in the morning. At 12 noon the next day, Qin Tian met Su Yanran at the airport. A white chiffon dress made her look colder and more generous than usual. The Su Jingyang did not come, but loving jade antiques Su Guofu come. As soon as he came, he enthusiastically pulled Qin Tian and expressed his most loyal thanks. Ha, nephew Qin Xian, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thanks to you for what happened before. The previous 5 billion for the Su family was nothing short of a charcoal. Although they had expressed their gratitude on the phone before, the sincerity of thanking them in person is different. It's okay. It's just a matter of effort. Qin Tian said casually. Get in the car, it's hot outside. In the July weather, even if someone held an umbrella, Qin Tian still didn't want to stay outside. Today Qin Tian came to the airport and drove a total of 4 cars. Old Li drove a Rolls-Royce, Zhou drove a Mercedes-Benz G, and everyone else sat in the last 2 BMW 7 Series. Well, all are rented, but Father Su and Su Yanran didn't care about this. After all, Qin Tian's worth lies there. Is there any difference between rented and bought? There is no difference at all. Hearing Qin Tian's words, Mr. Su nodded and took the initiative to get on the Mercedes-Benz Big G driven by Zhou, and Su Yanran followed Qin Tian to Rolls-Royce. As soon as she got on the back seat of the car, she couldn't wait to take Qin Tian's arm. Uncle Qin, you are so kind. You still find time to pick me up during your busy schedule? I just came to pick you up once. Don't you need to thank you so many times? There is still such a hot day. Don't you feel too hot while holding my arm? There is air conditioning in the car. How can it be too hot? Hee, you just want to be happy. Good things always make people happy. Qin Tian is naturally no exception. Su Yanran's appearance and figure are enough to make anyone feel relaxed and happy. Everyone did not waste time, had lunch together, and introduced each other. So he rushed to the site of Yinjing's auction. When Qin Tian brought Su Yanran, Dan Chenzi and others to the auction site. It is already 2 o'clock in the afternoon. As soon as Old Li stopped the car, Qin Tian saw 2 familiar figures, Lin Yi and Xiaoling Shuang. The 2 came with another old man. The old man also took 2 bodyguards. Seeing Lin Yi, Qin Tian was a little surprised. But the 643 he was surprised was not why Lin Yi appeared here, but that there was another girl beside Lin Yi. This girl isn't Xiaoling Shuang? What about this F***? In front of my junior sister with another girl? Is something wrong? Uncle Qin, isn't it the young boss who was in the gambling field that day? Yup. Qin Tian came back to his senses and seemed to think of something. Let's go over and say hello. Okay. Boss Lin, long time no see. Don't come here unharmed. Qin Tian. Seeing Qin Tian, Lin Yi, who was originally calm, immediately gritted his teeth with hatred and unconsciously tightened his fist. Ding. Provoke the anger of the protagonist Lin Yi and get plus 300 as the villain value. Say hello to a net profit of 30 million? Gee. The appearance of the system prompt made Qin Tian very satisfied. These protagonists have different personal settings, so there will be some differences in the way they get villain points. For example, Wang Hao can gain villain value by attacking his self-confidence. This is not available in other protagonists. And like Lin Yi, Qin Tian likes the protagonist who can get the villain value if he arouses his anger. And so, Ling Shuang, I haven't seen you for a few days. Why have you become so haggard? Did Lenny take care of you? If so, just tell me, and I will help you teach this kid. Ding, the protagonist Lenny has a murderous intent on you, slightly changes the main storyline, and gets the villain value plus 500. There can be. The parking lot of the auction venue is an open-air parking lot, covers an extremely wide area. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, all kinds of luxury cars were already parked here. The so-called is not that friends do not meet together. When Linny came here, he was actually 2 minutes earlier than Qin Tian. Not long after getting off the car, they saw Qin Tian's car driving into the parking lot. So the old man who was with him decided to wait a while to see if he was an acquaintance. Then the scene just happened. Because of doubts about the relationship between Qin Tian and Xiaoling Shuang, every word of Qin Tian seemed to be provocative. This made Lin Yi very uncomfortable. Qin Tian didn't care. After approaching, he carefully looked at the clothes of the two of them. Lin Yi's dress today is very ordinary. Compassionate shirt, shorts, breathable and sporty. However, Xiaoling Shuang's dress was no longer the leather jacket and leather pants he had before. It's a white tight-fitting shirt and black tight-fitting shorts. Okay, the dress is still so hot. It's just that there is no longer the coldness on his face. Seeing her melancholy look, it is probably related to the girl next to Lin Yi. Xiaoling Shuang likes Lin Yi, but Lin Yi brought another girl to the auction? This not only abuses people, but also abuses the heart. You don't need to worry about it. Seeing Qin Tian, who came to say hello, Xiaoling Shuang gritted his teeth. Things have developed to this day. How could she not understand that she would become what she is today, all related to the man in front of her? But Lin Yi no longer believes in her now. No matter how she explained, Lin Yi was just perfunctory. This made her feel helpless. Little friend Lin Yi, do you know? The old man next to Lin Yi did not notice the hatred between the two sides. On the contrary, looking at Qin Tian's enthusiasm, there was some confusion on his face. Not very familiar. Lin Yi squeezed these words out between his teeth. Let's go, senior, don't worry about them. After finishing talking about Qin Tian, he hugged the girl directly and walked towards the auction venue. Several people. I'm really sorry, the old man will go one step ahead. The old man does not know Qin Tian them. Therefore, he didn't say anything when he saw this, but after giving a polite gesture to the Qin Tian, he followed Lin Yi with his bodyguard. Xiaoling Shuang also gave Qin Tian a resentful look, resisting the urge to find Qin Tian for revenge, and followed Lin Yi. Seeing this scene, Qin Tian raised the corner of his mouth. I don't know how happy it is. It seems that the relationship between these two people is worse than I thought. He glanced at the girl next to Lin Yi with the eyes of the villain just now, found that this girl is not the heroine. This shows that this girl was found by Lin Yi casually. Why would Lin Yi bring a strange girl casually to this auction? There is no doubt that it is related to his Qin Tian. The things Qin Tian sent to Lin Yi before include not only the intimate voice and intimate photos of him and Xiaoling Shuang, but also intimate videos. Read more at wuxiax.com. Lin Yi had already seen the first two, but intimate video? Although Qin Tian only had some movements to hug the waist, Xiaoling Shuang did not resist. Just not resisting this is enough to make all men unacceptable. So after that day, Lin Yi began to subconsciously alienate Xiaoling Shuang. This girl, Lin Yi deliberately came here to draw a clear line with Xiaoling Shuang. Uncle Qin, you and this girl? What's the matter? Su Yanran, who was walking to the auction scene with the flow of people, suddenly asked such a question a little tastefully. She knows that there are many women in Qin Tian, but for now, she only knows one Gu Qingxing. So seeing a girl she didn't know appeared, she still couldn't accept it. Of course not. Why do you ask? Qin Tian turned his head curiously. I just saw the feeling you were talking to her just now. It seems a bit. Qin Tian couldn't help but smiled. I was deliberately angry with Lin Yi. Can't you tell? Huh? On purpose? Why are you mad at him on purpose? You are still young. I will tell you when you grow up. Su Yanran. Su Yanran wanted to say where she was young, but the smart she knew Qin Tian just didn't want to say it. So her words came to her lips, and she swallowed back obediently. As everyone went all the way, Qin Tian quickly saw the true face of the auction house. The auction was held in a special huge circular venue. There are seats on all sides of the venue, and at the top of the back of the seats, there is a row of distinguished VIP rooms. These VIP rooms are only open to people who spend more than tens of millions in this venue. There is not only a huge electronic screen in the room. Also, the outside can be seen from the inside, but the one-way floor glass inside cannot be seen from the outside. Guests can see the auction site outside through the floor-to-ceiling glass. You can also see those auction items carefully through the electronic screen, because Su Guofu has been here before, so they can enjoy the VIP room treatment. Under the leadership of the manager, Qin Tian and his party took the special small elevator to the VIP room on the second floor. Lao Li didn't come over in the rest area. Shueli guarded the door with another bodyguard named Ding Feng and Su Guofu's bodyguard. Dan Chenzi, Zhou Wen, and Wang Yi followed Qin Tian into this VIP room. The entire VIP room is magnificent with leather sofa seats. The air conditioner has already been adjusted. The coffee table is filled with snacks and fruit plates and a bottle of Romani Conti worth more than 100,000. There are also buttons and noiseless microphones specially used for quotation. The position is a circle larger than that of Nanua below. I don't know how many times it is better. Qin Tian scanned the lower circle through the floor-to-ceiling glass, but did not see Lin Yi's figure. I thought that the old man was not low in status and took him into the VIP room. Qin Tian didn't care anymore anyway. He didn't plan to go to Lin Yi now. As time went by, guests took their seats one after another. The hall below was full of people, and there were a lot of people in the VIP room, including some celebrities from Qingyangzong and Yanjing. Fortunately, the host has no blood, not an enchanting woman, but a man in his 30s. Gentlemen and ladies, good afternoon. I am the host of this auction, Xiong Hai. Xiong Hai wears a short-sleeved shirt with a work badge around his neck. As an auctioneer, he is naturally able to speak out. Soon the atmosphere of the auction house was mobilized. In the VIP room, Wang Yi and Zhou were sitting in the corner of the room chatting, not knowing what they were talking about. Dan Chenzi and Su Guofu seemed to be chatting speculatively along the way because of the small age difference. So at this time, it was a very happy conversation. Only Qin Tian and Su Yinran sat opposite each other, tasting the red wine on the table together. Beauty and wine are always the pursuit of the rich. At this moment, Qin Tian didn't care what the auction was. He only cared about how to calculate Lin Yi next. Looking at Zhao Hao Zhao. Everyone can't wait, then I won't talk too much nonsense. The first item to be auctioned next is a very complete piece of insect amber. There is a very perfect pincer scorpion inside. No matter the year, size, color, or completeness, it is very collectible. And after the appraisal of our auction house experts, this is definitely a piece of natural amber. Now the starting price is 100,000 yuan, and each increase cannot be less than 10,000 yuan. Bosses, please. This auction house doesn't seem to know the goods? As soon as the auctioneer's voice fell, Dan Chenzi suddenly spoke. Oh, Qin Tian was a little surprised. How to say? This piece is not pure amber, it's spiritual fat. The color and size of this piece will start at least 20 million yuan. It's a pity that there are many people who come here this time who know the goods, otherwise we can just miss it. Upon hearing Dan Chenzi's words, Qin Tian was speechless at once. This Lin Yi's luck is really not covered. Is it an opportunity wherever he goes? If he doesn't count him, isn't he the first auction item, and he can start to miss it? Qin Tian was simply unable to complain. This protagonist is luckier than ordinary people. You can't admit it. Uncle Qin, what is Ling Ji? Su Yanran obviously didn't understand. Qin Tian actually didn't understand, but Dan Chenzi explained it in the end. Ling Ji is actually a kind of amber. The formation of amber is generally studied by elementary school students. 1. Plants secrete resin. 2. The resin is buried and has experienced the role of petrochemicals. 3. The petrochemical resin is washed and transported and finally formed into amber through the action of the strata. And the spiritual fat in this world is a kind of amber. It's just a specific amber formed by some specific trees in a specific environment. The difference between it and ordinary amber is that this thing has absorbed a lot of heaven and earth aura in the process of its formation. After hundreds, thousands, or even thousands of years of aura accumulation, it is tens, hundreds, or even thousands of times better than ordinary amber as a medicine. It is also a blindly natural medicinal material necessary for refining Guban Peiyuan Dan. Hearing this explanation, Su Yanran was thoughtful. Qin Tian is different. After she took the beauty pill, she had a certain guess. Now, according to his grandfather's attitude and the performance of this Dan Chenzi, she can almost confirm her inner thoughts. 110,000, 150,000, 200,000, 500,000. Su Yanran thought the rich people in the field have already started bidding. Since this is a charity auction, the money made by the auction house will be used for charity. In addition, the prices of the first things are not expensive for these rich people. Therefore, the bidding is more arbitrary. Okay, young Master Lee of the Sky Blue Group bid 500,000 yuan. Is there any higher bid? 500,000 once, 500,000 twice. 1 million. A voice suddenly sounded. There's no doubt, Lin Yi. He pressed the quotation button in the VIP room and then used the microphone in the private room. Although there is one-way glass in the private room, it is impossible to see who is inside. But listening to this voice, Qin Tian knew it was Lin Yi. Originally, there would be no Qingyang sect or Qin Tian in this auction. All the treasures will become his Lin Yi's pocket. Take this insect amber, because it is the first item. The price generally does not exceed 500,000. Lin Yi bid 1 million, and he can win it straight away. But now, 2 million. A voice interrupted it directly. The bid was not Qin Tian, but Mo Lanqin of Qingyang sect. As a person who knows the goods, of course she will not release this stuff to anyone other than Qin Tian. Lin Yi was a little surprised when he heard someone bid 2 million. Because of this, in the eyes of ordinary people, it is simply not worth so much money. If Qin Tian made this price, he could still understand. But now, why is there still a woman robbing yourself? 3 million, 5 million, 8 million, 10 million, 12 million, 15 million. Are these people crazy? Do you panic about burning too much money? Is this arrogantly raising the price? Read more at wuxiax.com. It's worthy of being a VIP room person, really rich and powerful. Hearing that the price of the first auction item inexplicably soared to 15 million, the rich people present were talking about it. No matter how rich a person is, he wouldn't play like this, right? BHFG, buy more than 10 million insect amber? Isn't this enough to support you? Mr. Qin, do we need to increase the price? Seeing that the price had reached 15 million, Dan Chenzi asked. As long as it is bought within 30 million, it is not a loss. No need. Qin Tian shook his head thoughtfully. The last bid was Mo Lanqin, and there was no need to waste money. Dan Chenzi was a little confused, but didn't think much. Ling Ji finally sold at a price of 20 million yuan. The winner is Mo Lanqin of Qingyang sect. Although Lin Yi also knew the true price of this thing. But after all, he is the rebirth of the strong, and he dare not contact too many spokespersons. In other words, the funds in his hands are limited. In addition, when Xiaoling Shuang came out, he brought some pills to him. He doesn't need to consolidate the original pill. With this thing, it is just to gather the little brother. So it was obviously unwilling to let him spend more than 20 million to buy this spirit fat. However, the transaction price of 20 million still surprised everyone present. 20 million sold for the first item? It's simply outrageous. But fortunately, the next auction items, the transaction price is still normal. 1 million, 3 million, 5 million. Although one piece is more expensive than one piece. At any rate, there is no such out-of-control price as before. This kid, it must be Shadow Xiao undoubtedly. In a private room, Mo Chaming said very positively. He didn't care about the photo of Lingji just now, but instead focused on the private room diagonally across from them. A kid whose family is too poor to buy a house, dare to go to this auction house to buy tens of millions of things? And this thing is only needed by the cultivating world? Any fool can see that there is a problem. No matter what, please check again. Yes, when the auction is over, find a chance to stop him. You two go to the private room and stare at them first, and the others are going to notify the other sections. Yes, understand. The people of Qingyang sect confirmed Lin Yi's identity. Started sending people out to stare at Lin Yi's private room. And Qin Tian, who had anticipated all of this a long time ago, also started his own actions. He didn't care about the heavenly spirit fruit that was about to be auctioned at the auction. Instead, the bidding rights were handed over to Dan Chenzi, and he took Su Yinran and Zhou Wen alone and walked towards Lin Yi's private room. Originally, he didn't want to bring Su Yinran over, but this girl wanted to follow, and Qin Tian couldn't help it. Stop! What are you doing? As soon as they came to the door of the private room, the three Qin Tian were stopped by the old man's bodyguard. Qin Tian smiled faintly. I'll come to Linny to talk about the past. Please tell me about it. Hearing Qin Tian's words, the two bodyguards looked at each other and then nodded. It's just that the door of the VIP room was open before they could enter. It was Lin Yi who opened the door. I don't know why. Since Qin Tian grabbed his spirit stone, every time I saw Qin Tian, Lin Yi's mentality of being strong would collapse. Qin Tian, what are you doing? I don't welcome you here. Lin Yi wanted to close the door, but was stopped by Qin Tian in time. Don't close the door in a hurry. I am here this time to beg you for peace. Pleasing for peace. Lin Yi sneered. Is there still possibility of peace between us? How about, let us go in first? Qin Tian asked tentatively. Lin Yi frowned upon hearing this, but in this kind of place, it is impossible for him to do anything to Qin Tian. So after thinking for a while, he also put the Qin Tian trio into the room. The old man in the room was chatting with another old man that Qin Tian had never seen. That girl walked very close to Lin Yi, and Xiao Lingshuang was sitting alone, his face a little ugly. Qin Tian nodded slightly to the two old men, then sat on the sofa with Su Yinran in his arms, and looked at Lin Yi. Actually, I really came to make peace with you. I snatched a spirit stone from you, and you sent someone to assassinate me. We are also considered a tie, so there should be no deep hatred. Tai. Lin Yi gritted his teeth. What about Ling Shuang? She came to kill me, I didn't kill her, it was already a lot of face. What do you want me to do? Qin Tian said lightly. Furthermore, didn't you also kidnap my son? You bastard, talk lightly. Well, I won't talk about the previous things, just say now. Qin Tian said lightly. I hope you can give me the heavenly spirit fruit. Let it to you? Lin Yi smiled contemptuously. Oh, if you say let it to you, then let it to you? Why? Why? The corner of Qin Tian's mouth raised. You can't protect yourself now. It's hard to protect yourself? What do you mean? Lin Yi squinted his eyes. Didn't you find out that your identity has been exposed? Qin Tian continued. I have seen the people of Qingyang sect before and found that they are looking for you everywhere. So, I used my means to get their purpose of looking for you from them. I told your junior sister for this purpose. Did you know the secret of Brother Yi from King Yangzong? Xiao Lingshuang couldn't help but took the words quickly. Because at that time, she was very curious why Qin Tian knew so much about their senior brothers and sisters. It's just that she asked Qin Tian, and Qin Tian couldn't tell her. Unexpectedly, King Yangzong told him. Qin Tian nodded. Yes, I learned from their subordinates that you may be the #1 master of Shadow League, Shadow Sha, and they were investigating you at that time. Originally, they were not particularly sure, but your purchase of Lingji just now has clearly exposed your identity. I think, if you don't run now, I'm afraid you will never have a chance. Qin Tian, do you want to lie to me? After thinking about it for a while, Lin Yi shouted angrily. Although I don't know how you know my identity, you just want to lie to me to leave now, so that you can only swallow the spiritual fruit. I want the heavenly spirit fruit to be true, but I didn't lie to you. Qin Tian calmly retorted. Who do you think are the people who bid for Lingji with you just now? If you don't believe it, you can go out and have a look in person. Although your strength hasn't recovered, your alertness should still be there. It shouldn't be difficult to find them at such a close distance. I think it shouldn't be difficult. Speaking, Qin Tian stood up slowly, looked at Lin Yi and said earnestly, Lin Yi, for the sake of Ling Shuang's face, I have already done what I should do. As for whether you want a heavenly spirit fruit, or is it terrible next, it's up to you to choose.